Be me. I have been a truck driver for well over 5 years of my life now. It took a while to get used to. The road at nighttime can get pretty isolated and lonely. You have to get used to those quiet nights. Most of the time it's just me, the truck and the dull hum of the engine. This night was different to the usual. It was one of those rare nights where you got human interaction. Where something actually happened. Sometimes you craved it in the boredom. This was a night that made me crave the isolation again. I think it was around 2 in the morning. I think I had just hit Route 47. Route 47 is a stretch of highway that to me seems to go on forever. I swear whenever I drove down this thing the urge to sleep hits me the hardest. There is nothing around at all for miles aside from a few fields and a couple gas stations scattered around. The sleepy feeling had hit me, so I thought it best to take the opportunity to stop, refuel and maybe douse myself awake with something. The highway was absolutely empty at this time. I had not seen anyone for miles. There was I think one other vehicle at the gas station, but I think it was some guy sleeping. I refueled, bought some dirt cheap energy drinks and then set back off. Decided to put on some low-intensity music so that hopefully the miles would fly by. After about 30 minutes of driving I started to get a strange feeling. See, when you're a trucker, you kinda train yourself to be alert at all times. To watch out for anything slightly suspicious. Things that a normal person wouldn't bat an eye at. It's like a trucker's sixth sense to be able to just feel when something fishy is going down. I spotted a car behind me. It was a small sedan. Nothing unique about it. Black and very plain. Looked like it had either just come out of the factory or been cleaned top to bottom. It was an older car though, so it must have just come out of a car wash. It started out a ways away from me. Be me. Night shift worker at a gas station. Been doing it for pretty much a year now. In that time I've gotten pretty accustomed to dealing with the weirdos that you get around that time. It's basically part of the job description. People who stop for gas at 3 in the morning are usually drunk or high or mentally not all there. I've had tweakers literally drooling at the mouth like a feral animal, growling and smacking at the glass to try to get in. I'd whether to try and take a bite out of me or what, but when this shit happens I have to lock the store and call the manager. He usually just tells me to sit tight and only allow gas payments through the window. Asshole. If it was him having to deal with it, it would be another story, but he's always just seen me as a lazy dropout he can take advantage of. Anyway, I'm getting too off topic. I had something happen last Friday that was unlike anything I had ever experienced before. As usual I was on my own in the gas station just like every other night. I live in a relatively small town and this station is on the end of a long stretch of highway. Pretty isolated by all accounts, but we still get people trickling through every so often. I clocked into my shift at around 10 p.m, first few hours were dead. Nothing happening at all. The only thing I had to keep myself busy was stocking the few shelves we had and just cleaning around the store. That and trying to keep myself awake. It really does get mind-numbing at some points. To the point where you actually start to hope something interesting happens. It gets to maybe around 2 in the morning. A car finally pulls up. It was a sedan. An old beat-up piece of shit. A complete rusted mess that honestly did not look like it was even road legal anymore. Like it could just blow at any second. Oh well, something to do at least. This guy steps out. Be me. Think Islam just started with Muhammad. Open chart. MFW. It actually goes all the way back to Abraham's son Ishmael. Abraham has 2 sons. Isaac Jews. Ishmael Arabs. MFW. Judaism and Islam are literally just sibling rivalries that escalated into world religions. Ishmael's 12 sons spread across Arabia. Each one forms a different tribe. MFW. The Arab world is just a giant family reunion with centuries of unresolved beef. Fast forward to Muhammad. Born into Kush, claims prophecy. Half the Arab world accepts him, the other half wants him dead. MFW. Early Islam was just a civil war between cousins. Islam expands, different factions emerge. Sunnis, Shias, Khorijites all fighting over who should be in charge. MFW Islamic history is just an endless series of who is the rightful heir debates. Modern day. Middle East still arguing over religious and tribal identity. MFW This whole thing started with two brothers in the desert 4,000 years ago. History is just one long family dispute that got out of hand. MFW theology is just a 4D chess inheritance battle. Me as a child in elementary school. Was really good at art and very creative for my age, probably functioning artist, average grades I think. Suddenly developed a speech impediment. Got sent into the rooms where the window blinds are closed for some reason. Pretty sure this went on for weeks. The one thing I remember from being in the dim room was, he let me use his phone or the school phone, and made me call some store and ask if they had some game in stock. Never saw him again, don't even remember his name or really what he looks like, but I remember all my other teachers just fine. Later, straight up started drawing a lot of pictures of 9/11 and D-Day, took a fascination of Nazism. Started becoming anti-authority, fucked with school computers using batch coding, was trying to overthrow my teacher, grades started failing. Had 3 near-death, risky occurrences. Saved my brother from drowning, saved my dog from drowning, and almost drove off a cliff while dirt bike riding with my dad. One weird event, me and my stepsister were doing a little trolling on my little brother while he was asleep, just being typical siblings. His chest straight up lifted like it was anti-gravity and a light came from his chest. This lasted for about 1 second. Even she remembers it. WTF.mp3. We just tried to forget about it and blew it off. As I got older, stopped doing art, became lazy, depressed, grades failed hard. Now a wage slave societal reject. Listen, I'm not even on meds now, schizo, but something fishy is going on here. Something incredibly odd happened yesterday. I am looking to hear from you more experienced magicians and sorcerers about what truly happened and the significance of it. Be me. Heavily depressed, planning my suicide. Absolutely hopeless and lost. Remember the joy psychedelics, decide to feel them one last time. Plan a nice trip to coincide with the blood moon. Set aside some wine to drink along. Get feelings of impending doom, despair and all of that. Start contemplating my approaching death. Go down into the dark nothing. I take a bath, I listen to music, all the usual trip stuff. Suddenly while in a room I hear strange noises in the house. Get excited instead of scared, search every room for something. Find nothing, but retrieve a candle that I came across in my old room. Light it up and feel compelled to start saying things in Spanish. Walking around the house hypnotized by the flame pouring wax all over myself. At this point I feel rather possessed, start getting crazy ideas. Start drinking the wine, feel like it's not enough. Boy, do I have a story to tell. Be me. Work at gas station, restaurant. Talking to boss on slow night. Talk about former manager. Former manager died a few years ago. She was Catholic. We start talking about religion. I say I don't believe in Jesus. Radio in kitchen suddenly turns on. Go to check it out. No one's there but radio is on. Boss checks cameras after I ask. It found that no one that snuck in. Now that I think about it, it's a little creepy. This happened 8 or 9 years ago. Be me. Parents told me to work my 20s away 12-hour days, work as much as possible, and that my life would start in my 30s. Do exactly that because I'm a retard who think my parents have my best interest. Get laid off during COVID but don't get jibs because my retard parents told me not to be a bum. Move back in with parents because I couldn't afford rent anymore. Only think I could find is a worthless retard job that pays practically nothing. Work that for 4 years and turn 32. Wake up one day and finally realize how fucked I am when I go online and watch a 21-year-old who plays video games all day as work get married and have a McMansion, and then go on Facebook and see all my high school classmates are fucked and at best maybe have one child and most are single or divorced and still live at home, and a few literally 3-0 dead on heroin or something else. Point blank ask parents when my life is going to start, and my mother tells me that I should have moved out sooner and found someone in high school and that my best options at this point are single moms, and she said it while snickering, and dad tells me to just keep working and not worry about it. Realize they destroyed my life and think it's funny or don't care. Quit going to work and fully need to my parents' shame and humiliation, and they consistently threaten to kick me out, and I outright told them if they do I'll be begging on the street corner where all their neighbors and co-workers will see me, and that shut them up. Another year goes by, go a month without talking to either parent, and we avoid each other. I'll post mine. Be me. Chilling in my house. It's Independence Day, 2021. Here knocking on patio door window. Check it out. Nothing there. Talk to friends on Discord about it. They say to ignore it. Could attract more bad shit. Anyway, it sounded like how a person would knock. I chalked it up to somebody messing with me, like a couple of drunk people pulling a prank on me. It was the 4th of July. However, this is a rural area and the neighborhood I'm in is really tucked away, and I live in a really small town. On top of that, everyone here keeps to themselves. WTF. Be me. Yesterday. Go on date with girl for coffee. Tell her I make coffee at home on my stovetop. Forget what the thing called, mocha pot. Today. See this thread.